Yo, what's good? It's your boy Wilson. You watching EmceeTV, the podcast, coming at you live from EmceeTV studios in Des Moines, Iowa. As always with me, my bro.
West. This your boy Bigg Ray West, BIGG, representing the west side of Des Moines, Iowa, not to be confused with the West Coast. And they know.
Looks like I'm glitching a little bit. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm cool. Ray, it's been a minute since we did this. You've been out on vacation. You had a birthday. How's everything been?
Man, I'm great. I'm blessed. I feel great. I feel old too.
Yeah.
I feel older, man. I'm blessed to grow another year older, though, man. The wisdom gray hairs are popping up all over the place and shit. And I'm a silver fox now. But no, yeah. We went on vacation. I took the family on a vacation. We hit Denver, Colorado. Had a full itinerary. Had the kids with us, man. We hit places like Meow Wolf, the motherfucking Denver Zoo, the Denver Museum, motherfucking Lookout Mountain or Lookout Peak, whatever the hell it is. Ate at a whole bunch of different restaurants, In-N-Out Burger, whole bunch of different places, man. So, yeah, we had a good time out there.
That sounds like a dope trip.
Yeah, it was an expensive trip. I'm still paying for it.
I believe it.
I'm still paying for it, dog.
That's dope, though, man. I'm happy you guys went out there, had some fun. Weather was cooperative. Everything was good on that end.
Yeah, the weather was beautiful. I love how the sun be rising early as fuck out there. I know that though. It's like 5 something in the morning. And it's daytime in the crib. Like god damn. But the morning is beautiful out there. Nice and chill, and the mornings are nice and not too hot at all. I imagine all mornings are like that. But something about being in Denver in the morning and waking up and going outside and doing your thing, and I don't know, it's real peaceful.
Yeah.
Like nature is more abundant out there or some shit. I don't know.
Okay. The elevation probably makes
Okay, talk about it. Talk about it. Shit. Then I went to this place called Post Oak Barbecue too. Shout out to Post Oak Barbecue. They had some good brisket. The kids said the ribs was good. They had good wings as well. So that's a W.
Okay.
Post Oak Barbecue for sure.
Dope. Hell yeah. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Mine looks like it's glitching a little bit. Does it look like it's glitching on your end?
Let me check it out.
Oh yeah. It looks. I mean, it's getting better. I'm uploading at 5 megs a second, so.
I don't know. It looks good on my part.
Okay, it just looked like it was glitching for a hot second, but yeah, as long as it looks cool on your end, we're gonna keep pushing. It's all good. That's dope, man. I'm happy you had a good time. Everything was cool. Happy birthday to you, bro. Much love.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So let's just start off with this one. Tonight is the NBA draft. I don't know a tremendous amount about what's going on in terms of prospects and different things like that. But I am excited to say we got for sure 3 candidates, I guess you call them, coming out of Iowa that will be entering the NBA draft hopefully this evening. Tonight is day 1. I don't know how many days it goes on for, but I know that for me it's super exciting to see Bennett Sturts, Tamin Lipsey, and Joshua Jefferson all going into the NBA draft. I've had the opportunity of seeing them all play, and that's huge for our state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to the NBA. Shout out to the college players. You know what I'm saying? Pursuing their dreams, and it's a beautiful thing to see Iowans in the draft and having a possibility to become stars at an pro level. So yeah. check out the NBA draft tonight. What time? What channel, Steve-O?
I believe it's on ABC and ESPN. I got it pulled up here. What's it say? I've got the draft. I've got the prospects listed. You know what? Check your local listings. I think it's tonight at 7:00. I want to say is what my son told me earlier. He's tapped in on all that.
With all that shit, you know.
What last thing on that? My man Julius Randle got traded. You know, I wasn't a tremendous fan in the beginning. I grew to love the dude. I was like, oh shit, okay, I like him. And then all of a sudden they came along and they traded Julius Randle for some weird
get out of here.
Three-way deal.
They traded him away for a 3-piece and a biscuit.
Yeah,
Y'all got nothing for him. You traded for him and then you got him out of here. And it wasn't because he was tremendously bad. He just wasn't good enough when you needed him.
I thought he was good too, if you ask my opinion as a fan. I mean, I think
he wasn't
held it
good
down.
enough when you needed him in the playoffs, when it mattered. There was times I feel like he might not even he wasn't even your second best option. How about that?
No, okay. So now if we're thinking now, nothing against DiVincenzo because I like DiVincenzo, but if we're looking at the two players and trying to figure out who we're going to trade, DiVincenzo's out with a torn ACL. Why wouldn't they have traded him versus Julius Randle?
And what's that say to you? We're going to keep him and still trade you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand that idea.
Okay, that means Randle underperformed severely in their eyes, and they felt like we're not going to win a championship with you around. Ant-Man is obviously the anchor. We feel like pairing you with Anthony Edwards is not going to get it done. For us to only run it 1 year, it's only been there 1 year, right?
2, I think.
2 years.
Yeah, because when they did that big preseason game was when he first got traded.
Okay, so and they don't want to run it back. To me, that's an indictment on Randle. The Lakers got rid of Randle.
Right. But you guys get rid of everybody, right?
Right. To be fair, we do get rid of all of our young guys. We drafted them and then got rid of them for sure.
Yeah,
we do that.
All right, we can get into some hip hop. I just wanted to tap on that. I know it's a big deal for a lot of the sports dudes. My son's excited for it, so it was in my mind today. So I figured we tap in on it.
All right, let's talk Young Thug, man.
Okay. You want to start it off?
Yeah,
okay.
Man. This article comes in via HipHopWired. It was written by Weezo. My apologies, we don't know how to say that shit. Weezo. We're gonna say Weezo because that sounds better.
I don't know that we have a graphic for this one, but that's okay. That's okay. We still got the article.
Yep. Headline goes on to say Young Thug has been looking to add some more talent to the YSL roster. The Atlanta rapper already has a new wave of artists carrying the flag, including, I don't know how to say their name. We'll say Teezus, Diamond Star, and 1300 Saint. Earlier this month, Thugger popped up during Teezus and Diamond's set at Lyrical Lemonade's Summer Smash Festival in Chicago, showing love to the label's rising stars. The bigger surprise was his interest in bringing Kodak Black to YSL after a report from My Mixtapes claimed Kodak was officially out of his deal with Capitol Records, making him a free agent. Thugger wasted no time, extended an offer. Quote, if he would do a deal with me, I would get that boy whatever he think he wants. Quote. Okay. Steve, what are your thoughts on Young Thug wanting to sign Kodak Black to YSL?
Okay, so this is the image that goes with that. It's a picture of Kodak Black. I don't follow Young Thug or Kodak Black tremendously. You know what I mean? So I may not be the best to comment on this, but I would say, just based on the headlines, Kodak seems to be in and out of jail a lot, and that makes him good for the headlines, but tough to record a record when you're in and out the clink so much. It makes you a little bit of a liability in my eyes. So, I mean, you may be a dope artist and you may have a cool following, but that would mean to me, I might have a live wire on my hands. I gotta be careful with this guy. Right? What are your thoughts?
I think you approached it the right way, through the right lens, which is a business perspective lens. everything you said is spot on. He still got some motion. He still got some pull. The name is still large. Kodak Black. I imagine he's still pulling decent ticket sales and stuff like that. So I could understand the interest in him being Young Thug wanting to sign Kodak Black to the YSL roster. You know, it just it seems like the most popping artists are the ones in trouble, Steve. I don't know why that is. You know,
If it bleeds, it
street
leads.
yeah, the streetwise though. I know people automatically went, well, Drake's popping, he's not in trouble. Dude, I'm talking about street rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the correlation is. Obviously, we do, but
Yeah.
ultimately, it wouldn't be bad. Fuck it. Kodak Black to team up with Young Thug. I think good music could be made. Shit. If he's in the streets, he's in the streets. I ain't gonna change because he's with Young Thug or without him. Shit.
Right. Yeah, I think Kodak Black going to keep doing him regardless. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So whatever he's destined for, he's gonna reach that with or without Young Thug. You feel me?
Yep. Yep. Good luck to both of them. Hope it works out. Uh,
Absolutely, man. Shout out motherfucking Kodak Black and motherfucking Thugger.
for sure. All right, moving on. Next article we got comes in from New York Times. Image is courtesy of David Swanson from Getty Images. Clive Davis, storied music exec, dies at 94. The New York Times reports that Davis died on Monday, June
Hold
22nd.
up, hold up, hold up. I think the credits are the one above the
Oh, okay.
headline.
Okay, my
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Alan Berezowski, Getty Images. I apologize. Good call. Good call,
And
bro.
and the written by and website.
Okay, my fault. Written by Robert Longfellow of HipHopWired.
There you go.
Clive Davis, storied music exec, dies at 94. The New York Times reports that Davis died on Monday, June 22nd, at his home in Manhattan. It's a good life. The Brooklyn native had reportedly recently been hospitalized for his respiratory issues, and his family confirmed his passing. Davis, who would become famed despite not being a performer, started in the music business as a lawyer for Columbia Records. While becoming a renowned kingmaker, some of those famed signings to recording contracts across the years include the aforementioned Whitney Houston, Janis Joplin, Bruce Springsteen, Aretha Franklin, and Milli Vanilli. Famously, or now infamously, in 1993, it was Davis who agreed to a joint venture with Diddy Combs' then fledgling Bad Boy Records. After the disgraced exec had been fired from Uptown Records. The result was classic music from the likes of the Notorious B.I.G., Mace, and Faith Evans. After leaving Arista in 2000, Davis formed J Records, whose signings include Alicia Keys and Luther Vandross.
Mm.
He's definitely known in the music business. He got a lot of years putting it in, and definitely held it down for a while. Ray, what do you think?
Well, first you want to pay respect and love to his family and people suffering. It's always a difficult time when you lose somebody.
For sure.
Secondly, it doesn't move me much because I'm a believer of industry corruption, especially the music business. I think I choose to believe the sleazy stories of Clive Davis, unfortunately. So I don't really have a lot of I don't have a lot of nice things to say, so I'll just leave it at that. Respect to his family and stuff like that, and sure, he's obviously done good. He's broken good, brought in good talent into the industry and gave them an opportunity to eat. Whatever, that's good. But at him of who he is, if what I hear or what they say is true, like shit, his character was dog shit. So I
You
don't
think the
know.
bad outweighs the good, huh? On this one?
I choose to believe that. That I feel like there's very few good in the music industry, bro. Especially at the level he was at, that high up. You feel me?
So you think it's just in general all the execs are corrupt, or is there something specific about him that you dislike?
Yes.
both are true in this case. Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. So they're all. You don't think there's a single good exec out there? Damn.
Maybe there is. Maybe there is, but I'm saying at his level, I don't know. Dog. That's just there's just too many horror stories, bro.
Yeah.
They make it seem like talent doesn't make superstars. Superstars are created and selected. Okay, not to say that your superstars that we currently have aren't talented, but they're not where they're at because of how talented they are or how hard they work to get there. They were selected and handed a platform type shit. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, there's others that believe that, so it's yeah. I mean, I'd like to think it's not true, but
Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying it is true, but if my mind is open enough to, I've heard stuff like that. I can believe both sides of the story. I can hear enough facts to support both sides.
Sure.
My opinion.
You're not closing the door on the possibility.
I can never do that because I don't know for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it'd be tough to even ever know for sure. I mean, because you got to take about a case by case basis. I mean, we could say this dude's dog shit, this dude's cool, this dude's dog shit, this dude's cool, but I mean, there's a lot of execs out there.
Yeah, but when you get into PDFs and you know what I'm saying, graping and you know what I'm saying, unalivings, allegedly, like that's shit you can't look past.
Sure. Oh yeah. I wasn't sure what you were saying there for a minute. You use code words and shit, but I get it now. I had to look through the curtain a little bit. Okay. Moving on. Where are we going from here, bro? We get canceled for this one.
For sure. Let's talk Take Keith.
Okay.
So this one was written by Weezo via HipHopWired. Photo credit is David Swanson via Getty Images. Headline goes on to say, Take Keith's loved ones break silence with statement after his passing. The family of Britavius Take Keith Chambers released a statement honoring his legacy, highlighting not only his impact on music, but also the lives he had touched away from the spotlight. Quote, it's with profound sadness that we confirm the passing of Britavius Take Keith Chambers. Britavius was a visionary producer, songwriter, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and cultural force whose work helped define the sound of a generation. From Memphis to the global stage, he shaped countless hit records and left a lasting mark on music and culture. While fans knew him as Take Keith, the producer behind some of the biggest hip-hop records of the past decade, his family remembered him as a son, friend, and loved one. Quote, while the world knew him as Take Keith, his family knew him as Britavius, a source of love, strength, laughter, and guidance. We take comfort in knowing that his legacy will live on through the music he created, with opportunities he provided and the lives he touched. Quote, Keith's catalog includes chart-topping hits such as Drake's God's Plan, Block Boy JB's Look Alive, and Travis Scott and Drake's Sicko Mode. Throughout his career, he collaborated with some of music's biggest stars, including Drake, Beyonce, Eminem, Future, 21 Savage, and Lil Baby. Steve-O, what are your thoughts on Take Keith's passing and his family statement?
That's a massive catalog. I mean, just with the ones that they highlighted right there. I wasn't real familiar with him until we got into this. So I don't know how he passed, and I don't know really much on him. But I mean, RIP for sure. It sounds like he was talented and worked with some of hip hop's great. So that's congrats to him for that, for sure.
Yeah, man. Man, respect and love to his family too. Condolences. We're losing these guys young. People are dying young in hip hop. That's not a new thing either, though. I don't believe it was violence. I think it was a thing where they found him like passed out type shit in his crib or hotel, one or the other.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he was a super producer though, man. One of our super producers, a mega producer. You know, he worked with the who's who's in hip hop, and like you said, his catalog was impressive.
For
So
sure. Okay, so let's talk about this. What do you think we can do to change the culture in hip hop? Can we change it? Is it gone? Is it? I mean,
yeah,
I'm
it's the okay. So in my opinion, it's the people with the money. It's the people that are promoting the hip hop, the record labels, the people that are incentivizing these artists, dangling this cash like, okay, continue to make this style of money and I will pay you X amount of dollars type shit. X amount of dollars being record label, exposures, tours, internet deals, lucrative, anything like that. Anything that, you know what I'm saying, that you can gain from the people with money, they're rewarding people for this type of content, okay?
yeah,
Rather it be clicks or monetizing their social media from promoting negative shit. You got to stop that. You got to once you start promoting positive shit, once you can make money off of that, but people don't want to see that because they know it doesn't work. If I post this video of somebody fighting, it's going to go viral. If I post a video of me talking about stop the violence and dropping real wisdom jewels on you, it's only going to get a few shares and a few likes compared to the fighting video.
when I feel like my entire career in hip hop, everything I've seen from hip hop, it's always been like that though. Because I mean, back in the day, I was naive enough to think the Roots and A Tribe Called Quest and you know what I mean. Some of these dudes that were ultra talented was just kind of like they got pushed off to the side because it wasn't that East Coast West Coast gangster shit that was going down in the '90s when I started listening to hip hop. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the execs are at fault, and we should hold them accountable. I figured out what it was on the. I had a double feed of the video in here that was causing my shit to glitch a little bit, but I got it fixed, so it's not all weird and wonky anymore. But if we remove that, right? Because there's always going to be people that are going to try and offer money and prey on people, and I don't know that we can ever remove that, unfortunately, from any industry, right? I mean, there's always going to be people with
But
money in
it,
every
it didn't
industry that
always
are going to bait
exist
people.
though. It didn't always exist. Hip hop, when hip hop first started, bro, it was like it was conscious. It was uplifting to the culture. It wasn't no motherfuckers wasn't rapping about gang banging and selling drugs and shooting each other. Like there wasn't none of that. Like that shit was created specifically, brewed up in the kitchen.
By you mean by the execs or by by hip hop artists that
I
were
think everybody played a part in it. You first off, you create gang culture. Okay, I'm not a believer that people in the neighborhoods just by themselves created these massive organizations like the Crips and the Bloods. I'm not a believer that just a random guys from a neighborhood created these massive organizations. I believe that these had government involvement, CIA involvement, influence to make these organizations as big as they were and successful. You got to provide them with the tools to get that to be that successful. You know what I'm saying, dog? Like this
but
shit is bigger.
do you
Go
think
ahead.
well, just a thought, do you think that takes some of the responsibility off of the people if we can always just blame somebody that we, you know what I mean, like a blame a
Yeah,
government or blame a corporation or something, because that just takes the responsibility off of the people involved in it.
but they created it though.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying
You're
if the
just a product of your environment, bro. You're
if
born
the
into
music
whatever you're
industry
born
has this
into.
big cult that we can't control, then we can always just blame them. Or if gang culture always has the government we can blame, then it just kind of takes the responsibility off the individual. It's an easy out.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but people have been influenced, bro. You got to make a choice. You know what I'm saying, of the content that you want to put out.
For sure, without a doubt.
Okay, so
And I think we should get back to conscious hip hop. I'm 100% on board with that. I'm not arguing that.
with that being said, if I'm mindful about the content that I put out, if I want to put out positive content, I gotta understand that in today's climate, essentially, I just committed career suicide. If my goal is to be mega successful and be topping on the charts right now, like that's not what's gonna get you there, bro.
Nobody's offering you a deal for that.
Okay. But if I'm talking about harming my people or doing drugs and party rap, you know what I'm saying? Or shit that ultimately equates to harming your people or your community. Oh, we like that. That kid right there, he's on to something. That boy got talent. Boy, let's offer him. You know this? All right.
Yeah,
I'm
but
telling you, bro.
as the consumer, don't you think that, I mean, because if all these people are predatory, but they just want the money. So if as a community,
Yes,
as
sir.
the consumers mainly in the United States, right? I mean, other
Yes.
cultures absorb it too, but if us as consumers chose to, if we listen to, I mean, same with action films, right? I mean, if people didn't go to action films, they wouldn't make them. But we as consumers enjoy the violence. No, right or wrong, right? I mean, like I gravitate to it too in my listening and what I choose to listen to.
Yeah, but and this is very true, but everything that we're consuming is being filtered. Like they control everything that we consume. Only a handful of companies control everything that you see, bro. Like
Shit.
we're the way we are because we're being controlled to be this way. We're desensitized because they are letting all these violent videos be seen on social media. They are making these violent movies. Like, man, this shit crazy, dog. This shit all constructed, bro.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean by individual responsibility, but these they're doing this shit on purpose, bro. It's hard to put into words.
I mean, there's a lot of court cases right now that are trying to take them to the fire and whatnot. You know what I mean? They're saying I think Europe just banned Facebook in Europe until you're 16, or maybe it was just the United Kingdom. There's
Yeah,
people suing Facebook and various social media um, companies because of children harming themselves after being attacked and bullied and things like that, which I'm fine with. You know what I mean? If you are allowing somebody to be tormented outside of school and things are going the wrong way, maybe we need some guidelines, and maybe, nobody should have to live like that. It's bad enough getting picked on at school, but then you go home and you know what I mean. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know what the right answer is. Um, yeah,
yeah. It's wild, man. At the end of the day, man, all we could do is be parents, and we got to be conscious and mindful of what our children are consuming. That's visually and listening to. You
for
know,
sure.
if you don't, because the social media and television, they're gonna, if you let it, they're gonna give it that brain rot. You ain't gonna see nothing productive on social media unless you look for it. But other than that, you're just gonna be doom scrolling because the algorithm's gonna feed you that shit that's gonna smack your dopamine. That keeps you constantly scrolling. You feel me? It's not gonna give you something to feed your brain and put some fat on your brain. You gotta
Do,
go. You gotta go seek that information.
do you think that we can correct that? Do you think
No,
we could, you think it's just going to be shock and awe is always going to win?
man, our brains are fried, bro. Like from the fucking phone, man. Like that that instant dopamine, man. We're constantly needed. Our attention span is fucked off, bro. Like we're
Yeah.
constantly looking for the next, constantly looking for the next. Like
Yeah. I
so,
don't know if we
it's
can get
like,
the genie back in the bottle.
and it's happening in music right before your eyes. Like hit singles are a minute and 30 seconds now. These motherfuckers are dropping a verse, spitting a hook, and the song's over.
Yeah.
Song's
I've,
over.
well, you and I talked off camera once. Oh, this was a little while back about people just dropping verses. You know what I mean? They're blowing up off of shorts because you
Shit,
don't even need a hook. The average
man.
consumer doesn't stick around past the hook usually, unless there's a bigger verse that they're waiting. You know what I mean? Maybe you got a feature from Drake or Shady or a buried Notorious B.I.G. verse that somebody ain't heard. You know what I mean? It's got to be something mega to get people to listen to the whole damn song anymore. And so,
Yeah.
why not just drop a short? You can create a 60-second video much easier. You know what I mean? and you
And
drop a short and people listen to it.
and on top of that, it's like, why spend all the money to shoot this big ass cinematic video? And I know you don't even have to do that these days, but I say cinematic, that means, you want to step it up visually. So you want to have some type of money spent on the video, I say,
And a
quality
plan,
wise.
and a
Yeah,
plan.
and a
Yeah.
plan for
Yep.
sure. So why do all of that when I could spend that same amount and shoot 10 different shorts with that same budget in 10 different outfits for 10 different ones of my songs and line it up for 2 or 3 of them to drop a month? You know what I'm saying?
You're spot on.
Like,
It's the same
dog,
amount of effort aside from changing the clothes, right? I
yeah,
mean,
dog.
yeah.
Like, so you're casting different poles everywhere. You're fishing the whole circumference of the lake now. You know what I mean? As opposed to putting 10 worms on one hook and casting right here and hoping to catch the big lunker. You dig?
Yeah. Now, do you think? I remember back in the day, they were like, man, and I guess it was before it was. I was around, but not around well enough to understand. But that when the radio was the big hit, right, and then the TV came out, and there's even songs. Video killed the radio, and then we got this killed that. Are we in the moment so much that we're like, damn, you know what I mean? We can't see that it's going to be okay, or do you think that this is really going to be the end?
It's bad. We're in a bad spot. I was just talking to my homeboy Young Drink Stains in Colorado this weekend, last week,
Shout out Young Drink.
and I was telling him how they took our last radio station. 88.1 is now a Christian station 24/7, and then they sold 89.3. Now that's a Christian station. So we have no authentic hip hop and R&B representation on the radio in Des Moines, Iowa. Like, how crazy is that, bro?
Yeah. So what's our alternative? We got 107.5, which is Kiss. That's the
Fuck,
that's the top 40 or what? I don't know.
that's
I don't know
crazy.
exactly what they call
That's
that.
crazy. That's what that is, Steve. That's crazy. Uh, they're taking it all, man. They're taking it all, and we don't. I like to see. I will say this though. I see the fans gravitating more towards physical shit. Like they want artists are starting to see that selling vinyls and selling CDs and autographing them. That used to just be the independent route. You used to just see your Tech Nines doing shit like that. Tech
Great.
Nine kind of Tech Nine kind of set that precedent, but even years later now, like that's not a new thing for Tech Nine. He's been doing that 15, 20 years, some crazy shit. You know what I mean? But now in 2026, you're starting to see other artists do that. Even the bigger scale artists are starting to sell their CDs and sign them and shit like that. So people are starting to go back to physical because digital's convenient, but I don't own it. Whenever you decide to turn off the internet, I don't have my music.
Well, and so that was going to be my point a minute ago when we were talking about losing our hip hop station. Is that because now, just being the devil's advocate, so to speak, on this one, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, if it's me and you, we own a hip hop radio station, right? And we're trying to crank it out. We're trying to get listeners because that's how we we sell ad space and things like that. But if nobody's listening, me and you were looking at the books, going, "Man, I love this thing. I love this." But we're pumping all of our financial. We're putting our money into this, but we're not getting any. Nobody's consuming it because everybody's listening on their phones now. And so is that the consumer's fault or is that business's fault?
So you'd have to essentially say that, okay, there is no market for hip hop in the state of Iowa on radio station. If you're comfortable saying that, then you got me.
And I don't know. I'm just saying, like, obviously, whoever. I guess my thought would be if they pull the plug on it.
What would be your take on that as an Iowan?
No, that's terrible, right? But
no, I'm saying as far as there being a market.
Oh, I feel like we got a hip hop out here.
Yeah, and obviously we're not the radio station owners. We don't know.
We don't get to see the metrics.
But just as a fellow Iowan, I would say that there's definitely a market for a hip hop and R&B station in the whole state of Iowa for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I agree. I look at it and I go, well, I mean, if it's making money, why would they pull it? You know what I mean? It sucks. It's terrible. But
I agree. Hey, and that's an argument worth having, and that's a conversation worth having for sure.
yeah,
Like why did they sell?
yep. Because
You
one of them
know,
was Grandview, right? It wasn't
yeah.
89.3 Grandview.
I don't know. Don't get me
Okay.
lying.
Oh, I felt like that was Grandview used to have the college radio station, and that was the one that played hip hop. I remember that back in the day. Uh,
Think of Central Campus was 88.1
or maybe
KBPS,
okay, yep. I'm mixing it up. I said Grandview. It was Central Campus, so that's Des Moines Public then.
and then 89.3. That was all as far as I can remember. That's always been the black station of Iowa, bro.
Okay.
89.3, like damn, no, that shit gone. Like that's crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know for whatever reasons, but yeah, there's no hip hop representation on our AM FM stations in the state of Iowa.
Well, hopefully we can bring them over here to EmceeTV. You know what I mean? We could they can at
Hey,
least hear some talk radio about hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
hey, and people always be at. Hey, they say they don't even know there was black people in the state of Iowa anyway, so they wouldn't be surprised, Steve.
I've heard people say that.
They wouldn't be surprised, Steve.
Yeah.
Let's talk mystical, man. Tell us something.
Mr. Cow, I did what you thought I wasn't gonna say what you thought I wasn't gonna do. Did I
Oh,
do it?
hello, hello. Fuck that guy.
I used to fuck with Mystical hard back in the day. Uh, as Mystical prepares for his 20-year sentence after pleading guilty. Oh shit! I got a little too excited for that one. This comes in from Hot New Hip Hop by Erica Marie, image courtesy Hot New Hip Hop. As
Yeah.
Mystical prepares for his 20-year sentence after pleading guilty to third-degree rape, his son is discussing the case for the first time. Ooh, this deserves a doo-doo-doo. A long-running legal battle has come to a close with a sentence that will keep veteran rapper Mystical behind bars for the next 2 decades. Holy guacamole. The New Orleans native born Michael Tyler recently received a 20-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to third-degree rape in Ascension, Paris, Louisiana. The plea deal was a compromise to Mystical's original first-degree rape charge, which he faced following his 2022 arrest. Prosecutors had also accused Mystical of false imprisonment, domestic abuse battery, and robbery stemming from allegations that a woman was sexually assaulted at his Prairieville home. Further, during court proceedings, the victim reportedly described a violent encounter and spoke directly about the impact the assault had on her life. Days before sentencing, Mystical attempted to withdraw his guilty plea, claiming he was under emotional distress when he accepted the plea agreement, but the court denied the request. The conviction also arrives more than 2 decades after the rapper served prison time in a separate sexual battery case. Okay, I was remembering that. It was all coming into view here. Now his son is speaking out, telling TMZ that he hopes his father will receive the help that he needs. Ooh, that's a damning statement. So the son said he hopes his father will receive the help that he needs. Ray, what do you think?
I mean, it's got to be fuck mystical. It's got to be fuck that guy. This is not your first encounter with these type of allegations. You clearly been guilty. You've done time for it again, and now you're guilty as you're convicted for it again. I can't. I don't stand with. I don't stand with guys that put their hands on the women's and that feel like they got to take the cookie. You know,
Right.
there's too many. There's too many beautiful, willingly beautiful women out here to where you shouldn't have to do no thing like that. You're at one point in time you was a famous, successful rapper. You know what I mean? Like you probably could have had the pick of the litter, bro. You probably
Especially
could
with
have
the
had
celebrity that he got, right?
yeah, the celebrity and you probably could have had any woman you wanted at some point in your career. So I can never understand successful men that wanna take the cookie. I don't get down with that. I don't understand it. I don't respect it. And that, like I said, that goes with the domestics. If you got to put your hands on her, she make you mad enough to where you feel like you got to wear her out or fire her up. Just leave. Like, why are you even wasting your time with her?
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I can't do that math, Steve. And
I'm with you, bro. It don't
I
make
can't
sense
do
to
it.
me. That's a confusing move. Uh, and I mean, we was just talking about Cash Money and fucking No Limit go down on this mega tour with a bunch of the artists. He could have been part of that, but unfortunately, the directions he chose to take his career, which was, I mean, he had a pretty big following back then. You know what I mean? And even in somewhat recent years.
I
And
remember
so,
when he first got out, and people thought, okay, he's okay. They kind of there was people that was done with him, absolutely. But if I remember correctly, he got out and he got on Cash Money, and people was thinking, okay, he's about to have another run, a shake your ass type of run. Here we go, and then boom, popped again for same type of charges.
yeah,
That's like this is crazy as fuck.
it's one of them situations where, okay, maybe the first time you tell me there's smoke and there's no fire, but how many times you gonna tell me there was smoke and there wasn't a fire? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
eventually it's tough to argue that, bro. Like, yeah,
You got to
it,
respect the women's, man. You got to respect the women's, and I understand. I know there's culture. The culture's crazy, okay, but there's levels to this shit, okay.
100%.
How do I classify you like street life and real life? Okay, do you want a nigga or do you want a man? Do you want a bitch or do you want a woman? Because they all live by different rules. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And as a I will say that knowing that I still can't condone, you know what I'm saying, a man doing whatever to a woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fly all the way straight. Even though I understand that, people live their life differently and there's levels to this shit of negativity.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like they're really there was it's a waste of your time. You know what I mean? Why put out all that extra energy to be fighting somebody and all that shit? If you gonna be sleeping around and just picking up folks in the club, whatever, have your fun and move on. You know what I mean? But there's no reason to be wilding out or forcing people to do things they don't want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's plenty of people on this planet. You could definitely find somebody that wants to just hook up for the evening and move the fuck on.
Yeah, but that goes to that lifestyle. Certain lifestyles there are no rules like that. The rules don't apply like you and I.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just that's an illogical mode of thinking in my book.
Yeah, bro. Like the rules are different in different settings. Out of town, out of bounds.
Yeah. You got to be fuck mystical on this one, y'all.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that.
Let's give them something happier to talk about. Where we at, Ray?
So, I mean, this is happier in a sense. Let's talk about Fulio. You know what I'm saying? The conviction. This article comes in via Hot New Hip Hop. Picture is via Hot New Hip Hop as well. Article by Alexander Cole. Headline goes on to say Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy have received their sentence for killing Fulio. Fulio was murdered while celebrating his birthday back in May of 2024. The artist was ambushed at a hotel in Tampa, Florida. Four men, Isaiah Chance, Rashad Murphy, Davion Murphy, and Sean Gathright, were all convicted on first-degree murder charges just a few months ago. Today, Judge Michelle Cisco decided to give all four of these men life in prison with no chance of parole, according to Double XL. Originally, all four suspects were at risk of receiving the death penalty. During the trial, the jury decided against it. As for their sentences, there are additional charges that they will be serving time for. Although these sentences are to be served concurrently to life in prison, life in prison is life in prison, regardless of the years attached. Steve, what are your thoughts on these four receiving life sentences for the murder of rapper Fulio?
I mean, it sounds just. You know what I mean? If you take mine off the map and I can't ever see my person again, I mean, yeah, it sounds like you. It's probably safer for you to be at life in prison because I'm gonna want to harm you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. And so yeah, I mean, if you were convicted of murdering and being affiliated with murdering my people, it, life in prison is probably the appropriate sentence because otherwise somebody's gonna try and kill you.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate situation all the way because nobody wins. You know, Fulio loses his life, his family mourns forever, his children, if he had children, they all mourn forever. And then all four of these gentlemen affect all four different families. You got five families affected here.
Agreed.
Just
Agreed.
because of one ignorant dumbass night. You know what I'm saying? So nobody wins in this case. But if I have to be specific, you know, shout out to Fulio's family for this W. You
They
know,
get some closure.
yeah, they get some closure. They get a little taste of victory, although it'll never bring, you know, Fulio back. And but nonetheless, it's the biggest win his family can obtain at this point in the journey. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, love to Fulio's family. These four gentlemen, they're gonna have a lot of time to do a lot of reading, sitting, thinking, stewing, and reminiscing, and hopefully become better men. And that's all they can do now. You know, it's the exercise program. It's the read as many books as I can program and stay alive program. You feel me?
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on from here. Let's do Rod Wave.
Yeah, there you go. I
Let's
like
bring it.
that.
Yeah, we're turning things around here. A little more uplifting. This image comes in from uh, Alexander Cole, article by Alexander Cole. This comes in from US Today via Reuters Connect. Hot New Hip Hop is where the content came from. Rod Wave is delivering his new album, Don't Look Down, in August. And from there, he will be going on tour across the United States. Rod Wave is an artist with one of the most dedicated fan bases in all of rap. Whenever he drops an album, his fans run up the numbers. Whenever he goes
Right.
on tour, he packs the venues. He is a superstar and he deserves the success he has received thus far. On August 28th, Rod Wave will be dropping his new album, Don't Look Down. Overall, this is going to be a massive album, and fans are certainly excited about it. In fact, Rod Wave is going to be taking this album on tour. His Don't Look Down tour begins in September, and we will have all the details. Right? What you thinking?
I think that's awesome. I'm not surprised. Raw Wave is big time. You know, he's probably got 4, 5, 6 platinum fucking albums. His fans do show up for him. He be doing arenas. He does big, like he does it mega style, dog. And I'm a fan. I would say I'm a fan of Rod Wave. You know what I'm saying? Am I a fan enough to get out here and fan out and stand in line and shit like that? Probably not. You know, probably not to that extent. But I do enjoy some Rod Wave music, and it's refreshing. And yeah,
Is he
congratulations to his success, dog.
is he independent? I'm not 100% tapped in on him. I know I'm
I
very
would say
familiar with him.
no. I
Okay.
would say no. I think he's like universal. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
Yeah.
Atlantic or something like that on a major for sure.
Oh, let's see. Alamo Records, which
Oh,
is
well,
a
there you have it.
frontline creative center under Sony.
Oh, there it is. Sony.
Okay. Yeah, they're and which is obviously mega, you know what I mean?
Oh
Sony used to
yeah.
be Columbia House back in the day and all of that. So, um
Yeah.
he's massive. Congrats to him and all his success and continuing to grow.
Yeah, and for the tour, looks like it kicks off September 12th in Philadelphia and it wraps up November 18th in Atlanta, Georgia. You know that Georgia shit's going to be crazier than fuck. As far as Midwest dates, we got St. Louis. We get St. Louis, Columbus, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Chicago, and that's it for the Midwest.
Oh, I missed CP up in here. He said the audio was crackling, but that might have been a while ago. Hopefully, we're good now. I don't have any headphones up in here to check it with, unfortunately. Um, that looks like the comment was a while ago. So hopefully, once I got everything straightened out with the audio and the video situation where it was twitching a little bit, hopefully we good. My bad. I didn't mean to interject that. I just
Yeah, it's
just
all good.
just pulled the comments up over
Absolutely.
there.
Quality over everything.
For sure. Okay. All right. Well, closeout date in Atlanta has got to be massive.
Yeah, I would imagine so,
You
man.
go pack out the house on that one.
Yeah, shout out to Rod Wave, man. He's very successful, and he has a distinct sound. He does it very well too.
For sure. For sure. All right. What do we got up next?
Let's talk YG.
Okay.
I don't know that there's a pick for this.
Okay. All right. That's all right. Let me close out the Rod Wave graphic. Okay.
So this article comes in via Double XL, written by Trent Fitzgerald. Goes on to say YG confronts gender identity and transphobia on his new song Tiffany, which details a story about a man who discovers his date is a trans woman. The West Coast rapper is getting mixed reactions from fans for the song Tiffany, featured on his latest album, The Gentleman's Club. The track arrived last Friday, which would have been June 19th, on the Ty Dolla $ign and Damn James produced track. YG tells the story of a man who, unbeknownst to him, goes on a date with a transgender woman. The song explores issues of gender identity, transphobia, masculinity, and mental health. The song has sparked commentary on social media, with fans wondering whether Tiffany serves as a cautionary tale or if it represents a false depiction of transgender women that reinforces harmful stereotypes and justifies violence against the community. Steve, what are your thoughts on YG's new song Tiffany, and have you had a chance to hear it?
I did. Ray sent it to me today. I mean, his depiction and storytelling is through the roof on this one. He does a phenomenal job. But I guess my only thought on it was, and as we kind of discussed a little bit off air, I've been married for 20 years. I'm not in the dating game, so I'm probably not the proper target audience, I guess, for this one. But to me, I don't really I don't think that there's that many trans people out there that are trying to hook up with straight people and sell it off as though they're not trans. But again, I've been married for 20 years. You know what I mean? 20 plus years. So I guess I'm not out there. Ray, what do you think?
I think it's a good record. I think I want to salute YG's artistic pen on this one, and you can see the growth and the elevation as he matures as an artist, and you love to see that. The story level, the storytelling is top notch on this shit, and yeah, I don't see an issue with the record. I think he's just broadening his audience, and I think it's a well done job.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off, bro.
as far as real life, depending on the situation that people find themselves in, I think the situation can and does happen. You know what I'm saying? Like being in specific types of cities where the population is larger than others. And you're having a really good time at a club, and you see something that you like, and if they happen to like you as well, what are they going to say? Oh, by the way, I'm this and that. It usually doesn't happen like that. Two people connect and they do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I guess I would think that the fear of the backlash or the situation that may arrive, like he describes in this tale, you know what I mean? Like you would think that there's going to be repercussions if you misrepresent yourself, and so
Yeah.
you would think
But
that
what
that
makes you?
person.
But if you're attracted to that person enough to approach them, you're attracted to them that much. Like for me, that wouldn't even be crossing my mind that you're that of that community. You know what I'm
Right.
talking about?
Yeah.
If I felt like you're attractive and I approached you, and you know what I'm saying, like, hey,
Yeah.
it's
I guess you gotta kind of lead off with that a little bit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
right, and that's not, and I don't feel like that's,
awkward,
yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah, that's not typically an icebreaker conversation.
Right. Right. Uh, I feel like visually there would be some like there would be some tales by somebody in that group. You know what I mean? You would think, but I don't know. Again, I ain't been out in a club in a minute. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I definitely haven't been out trying to scoop up a lady in a long minute. So that makes it. I mean, they
He
didn't even
said,
have dating apps last time I was in the game. So
he said, you ain't seen the Crying Game?
yeah, you know what I mean. I'm missing out. But yeah, I don't know, man. If we're evaluating the storytelling and his delivery on the mic and the way he throws it down, that's phenomenal. And something motivated him, brought out his artistry, and he chose to write a song about it. Nobody can hate on him for that, for sure.
Oh,
I
he's
just
getting a
don't know.
lot of hate for it though.
Yeah,
Oh, they're clowning him. They're clowning him. You know the hip hop community, how they feel about that type of stuff.
yeah,
But I don't. Ain't no shade my way. I think it's a dope song. I think it's creative, and he's pushing the limit, especially for who he is. YG to come out like that, being a super gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? A blood rapper, and touching on topics like this. You know, that's risky. It ain't kind of. That is risky for his brand. That's risky for his brand, and for him to have the confidence to pull it off. I enjoyed it. And it kind of reminded me of some shit like Game would do. I felt like I was getting Game vibes, the rapper of the Game. You
yeah,
know, this kind of sounded like a record that he would do to me for some reason. Shout out the Game.
yeah. Man, I just keep. I don't know if it's something I clicked on or what, but I just keep seeing people talking about the Game did him dirty on verses, that
Mm.
just constantly pops up in my feed, bro. I'm like, I want to like this motherfucker. He's talking about a new album. I got an email from a promoter the other day, or a booking agency talking about uh, he got a new tour kicking off, and the only thing I can think about is how many people got done dirty by wanting to work with
Mm.
their idol. You know what I mean? Like, damn, let me
Yeah,
throw this man some money, and then he just ran off with the bag on him. Okay, allegedly. I don't know that it's true, but there's
yeah,
so many people out there. I mean, it kind of make you feel like the smoke. If there's smoke, it's fire type of situation again.
and yeah, I have to concur, dog. Like one time, two times, okay, maybe shit's fishy, but you my dog though. But three times, four times, five times, six times, yeah, you a dirty motherfucker, homeboy.
Right, right. There's a list. Now,
Yeah.
what do you think? Obviously, just because we do a feature, you shouldn't necessarily get all my attention. You shouldn't be able to hit me 24/7. But there should be some streamline to the business too, right? Like it, if
It
I if
all
if I accept the money, there's a certain amount of understanding there. Like I need to respond to messages it, regarding the music, right? We're not gonna talk every day, but
So that goes into the old rule: you cannot expect you out of other people, because that's the biggest way to find disappointment.
well put.
You and I would think that, okay, I accept his money. The least I can do is communicate and answer texts and regarding the business transactions. That's just decent respect. Everybody doesn't work like that. Everybody doesn't move like that for whatever reasons they have. I don't understand it. I never could. I never will. But I do understand that people are different and they move differently for whatever reasons. And it's not for us to understand. Uh, the only way to get around that or have any type of leverage is contracts or paperwork. That's the only way.
For sure.
Other than that, you're just trusting that, hey, you're a man of your word, like I'm a man of my word. And a lot of times those our idols aren't those folks. You know what I'm saying? You got to have paperwork to hold them in check, or it's just the way it is.
Which is truly unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's wild because when you look at it, you go, man, this person looked up to you enough to want to work with you, or respected you, or admired you, or whatever term you want to use.
All
You
the
know what I
above.
mean? Yeah, yeah. And I was excited to work with you, and when we've all heard stories of different artists over the years where the things have gone wrong, and I've definitely had some dealings over the years that have gone sour, and it kind of turns you off and makes you go, damn, really? Like, if you didn't want my money, you didn't have to take my money. I wasn't begging you. You know what I mean? I was excited to work with you. I reached out. You was excited. I thought you was excited. You know what I mean? I didn't think we was going to be exchanging Christmas cards, but I thought,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A little handshake, whatever.
It's unfortunate, man. And, they prey on the hip hop community, some of these artists, because they know that there's so many people out here that will do a lot of things to rap with their favorite artists. You know, like hip hop is so influential, man. Like for me to say that, you know, as a rapper myself or a musician myself, for me to be able to pair my name with one of my favorite idols or favorite rappers or MCs and say that me and him have a song together that's coming out on all platforms, you know, like they know that people will pay good money for that.
Yeah,
You got
that's
artists
huge.
that are making a living that make a living off of selling verses on the side and doing a couple shows here and there, you know. Obviously they got royalty checks coming in, but selling verses, if you're delivering, like it's gonna be a steady income.
Yeah. Well, and then you got people that are doing good business. Like I believe we spoke about it on our previous podcast, Mr. Fab. You know what I mean? He had
Jeez,
posted what
he's
30,
cleaning
30 bands or something ridiculous for his feature
cleaning
deal.
up. He did a
Yeah.
special where he was doing $500 verses, just cleaning up, and I think it was 750 if you wanted it in 24 hours. I was like, this is fucking brilliant, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
And with
dog,
that kind of a track record, who wouldn't want to work with him? You know what I mean?
dog.
Like,
Man, somebody give me 750 for a verse, dog. You know how quick you had that verse. That should be hard too, boy.
I'm promoting it. It's going to be on my social media. I'm talking about it on the podcast. I got graphics. I'm bringing the graphic up every 15 minutes.
Yeah. See, and you know, but that I'm a guy that hasn't tasted the success of the Fabby Davises and the games though. So who am I to say that I would still be that enthusiastic about promoting the product after I have been so successful? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tough for any of us to predict that. But
Yeah, as hungry as I am now, I feel like hell yeah, I'll promote anything that my name's attached to. But
right.
you know, if I've worked with Dre and sold millions of records and shit, and you know, Bigg Ray West from Iowa with fucking 2,000 followers hits me up and pays me $600, you know, like I might not feel as obligated to have to share it and do a video and say, hey, me and Bigg Ray West from Iowa are working together. Like, who the fuck is that? Like, boy, give me my money and get the fuck out the way.
Right. I mean, I see that. I also, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm not naive to it by any means, but I feel like it come with a little bit of love. You know what I mean? Like, shit, give me one
And
post, dog.
and
Give me one
that's
post.
that's us expecting us out of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's where we get the game fucked up, man.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Um, well, hopefully we keep doing this podcast. We can keep preaching the good word and we get some more folks over to the good side with us.
Hello.
Ray, what do you got coming up? What are you doing for dinner tonight?
I can't call it yet, man. I think we might just do leftovers. I hopped on that grill yesterday and did some hot wings and burgers and some links and
Nice.
yeah, man. Some homemade fries and shit. So I think we still got enough of those to survive through the night.
Cool. I think we're gonna throw something on the smoker. I just left Walmart a little while ago and um, we grabbed some stuff for Fourth of July. Fourth of July is coming up next Saturday, I think, give or take. Maybe it's a little further than that out, but it's right around the corner. So I grabbed some stuff in anticipation of throwing something on the smoker that day.
Yeah, for the 4th of July, that's my late father's born day. So we will. That's what we celebrate on the July 4th. We celebrate my father's born day and his memorial of passing. So we will have family together for that, and yeah, man, we'll be getting down for sure.
That's awesome. That's a cool way to remember him and a dope opportunity to reflect on the memories and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, doggy for shizzle.
Hell yeah. Any closing thoughts or anything you want to close out on? It's been a minute since we did one of these. You got any
Nah,
dates coming
man.
up?
I feel like I do have a couple dates coming up. I don't got them in front of me though. I don't got them in front of me.
All good.
I know June 29th, I have a new single dropping called That's Law, featuring CP and Test One, produced by Tremaine. That hits all the platforms. The Plugs House with DZ, that's out right now. Bigg Ray West, DZ from Seattle. The Plugs House doing well on YouTube for me. Shout out DZ, you know, for making it do what it do.
Most definitely.
Bigg Ray West and Diamond G, Digital Trafficking, Des Moines to KC. That's available right now on all platforms, you know. So I've been hella busy. New material is everywhere. I got a couple shows coming up too, so follow me on social media for those, man. You'll get them details. Hello.
Links are in the description if you can't find him. Just click the link down below. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe because that's how you get this beautiful message that we're bringing out to y'all. Until next time, it's your boy Wilson for EmceeTV.
It's your boy Bigg Ray West, BIGG, representing the west side of Des Moines, Iowa, not to be confused with the West Coast. And they know.
We'll see y'all again soon. We out. Peace.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like hash. Clay, passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yellow fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, softer than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.
Big balls don't take